Maguire went right to the Coventry players to congratulate them. I'm not saying United are embarrassed. You know what I mean, though, Roy. They know it's been such a sticky afternoon, which they've made so hard for themselves. I think that explains their reaction.
Yeah, I think from the United players and the supporters, they weren't really, going over the top with the celebrations because they know that they were quite lucky today. They had the game won at 3-0 and almost embarrassed to win at the end. But listen, they're in the cup final. They got the job done, but what you've seen today, again, every time I see this United team, I don't like what I see. They're hard to like. They just play in moments. They mentioned after the game, we keep talking about leadership and characters. I don't see any of this in this United group. Team management, when you're training up, you don't give a championship team any sort of hope that they can get back in the game. But that's what they do. They give up chances. They give up goals. We've seen it all season, so I don't know why we're that surprised. But my goodness, they rode their luck at the end.
It was amazing to be amongst the Coventry fans as we were, Karen, wasn't it? For the last 25 minutes for extra time for penalties. They've been through the full range of emotions. I know they'll be desperately disappointed, but they couldn't have represented their club any better, could they?
No, honestly. When you're 3-0 down and you get that Sims goal gets you back into it and then all of a sudden everyone's in amongst it and then to think then that the offside, they could have won it. It was just margins, Wright's goal at the end to even not take it to penalties. They've done remarkably well. Like Roy says, they're a championship team, punching way above a Manchester United team in terms of what Manchester United have got, players that they have and the money that they've spent. He's done an incredible job, the manager, and they should be really proud. And the fans stayed to the very end because they were.
Did you always fear come penalties that a team with a little bit more experience and know-how would probably have quite a considerable advantage?
Yeah, you look at some of the players, Casemiro and Bruno, Eriksen, really experienced players taking important penalties in the past. But, I'm sorry, Coventry sitting there, and like we say, we're amongst their fans, they're 3-0 down and they never stopped, they kept going. And I think that, like Roy mentioned, with the Man United team and the way that Man United play, even though they took off Kobe Mainoo, which I was really confused with, same with Garnacho, I'd have probably kept them 2 on, but it's just the way it just descended and into chaos, and then you could just see all of a sudden Coventry feeling we can get something here. They started to play. O'Hara got into the game more. Sims got into the game more. I think the substitute came on as well. What was it? Tavares came on in the end. He had to go back on. But then they had a go at United, and Man United they kind of crumbled away. And remember they hit the bar as well. Remember that one as well.
Well, we were looking at it. It's very easy to sometimes play when you're 2 or 3-0 down, and that's what happened. But there was purpose to their play. It was the substitutions made a difference in the goal and the belief, and all of a sudden, particularly in extra time, they look like the Premier League team. Yeah. United looked like a championship team. It was just, and momentum is usually in football, of course, and they had it, but United managed to wrestle back in the penalty. And when they got the penalties, I was sitting there. I just thought United would do it. I just thought it was going to be their day with all the luck they had in the injury time, in the extra time.
Let's have a look at Ben Sheaf, the captain's penalty miss, about what happened beforehand when Onana. Just a few verbals at him. Now, Onana had already been booked, and a lot of you would have watched Aston Villa this week, and Emi Martinez was booked twice, but not sent off because the second yellow in a penalty shootout doesn't count in the sense of sending a player off. But Martinez is suspended for the first leg of the conference semi-final. So people understand again. Is Onana suspended for the cup final? No, the FA have told us. Right. The rules are slightly different, the regulations. He's not suspended for the cup final. But you could say he got away with a bit of gamesmanship there, but then Sheaf with a short run-up. And Roy, one of your favourite sayings of all time.
You got to hit the target. Really, makes the keeper lead safe.
Knee over the ball, especially.
Yeah, it's just
knee over the ball in that situation for me. It's one of those situations you're waiting for a while as well, Mark. All that stuff. You've got to get yourself into a position where you go back to basics so you can hit the ball cleanly. You saw him there. His knee was.
His technique wasn't quite right.
He was leaning back and it's going to go over. I felt for him because I believed. The way they came back in that game and they scored at the death, they hit the crossbar. They deserved to. Why does the football do that to them? They took them through the ring of Coventry and then took it away from them. Cruel. Cruel mistress.
It's a cruel game.
Cruel mistress football is to some of the teams.
It always will be. Let's go to the touchline. Laura Woods is with Gary McSheffrey.
Way to sum it up. Gary, you were watching along and wow, what a game for your team to come back from 3-0 down, to push it to the point where they got the match winner, to take it all the way to penalties. It's a game and it's a cup run that this team should be very proud of.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they fixed the problems at half-time. They changed their shape. kept Man United's fullbacks deep, and then got the momentum, made some good subs. The subs come on, ran the game for a little bit. Tavares started spinning in behind, so it was a great performance and made everyone in the city proud.
It will be just so disappointing to look back on this and feel like perhaps it was an opportunity missed, but at the end of the day, they are a team that are on the up, they are a team in transition, and this crowd in here were just so incredible from start to finish. They were so loud, and even at the end of the match, when most of the other teams' fans had left, they stayed behind, they made sure they saw their players.
Yeah, the connection's there. You know, they've brought the connection back with the fans, and listen, this is a team that had a total rebuild, really, so this season's progression, and it stands them in real good stead to go again next season.
Next season will be the interesting one because, as you say, they've got loads of new players in this team. They have really built on that, and they will have learned a lot from this experience too. So is it very promising, if you're a Coventry fan now, to look at what this team could be?
Yeah, like I said, everyone's signed on, everyone's contracted. I think Callum O'Hare's the only one that everybody would want to sign a new deal. But you know, it's a team and squad that Mark only has to add 2 or 3 good players to and go up another level. So you know, like I say, it stands them in good stead. They've gelled together really well, and they're a team on the up.
And look, they were disappointed, obviously. They'll be so sad to miss out in the way that they did. But when the fans were out here and when they were clapping the fans, they had huge smiles on their faces still, didn't they?
Yeah, of course they did. They know they've took some of the best players in the world to a penalty shootout, and the momentum of the game, they should have won it. You know, they've won it in the last minute, but you know, half a yard offside. So it's disappointing, but they can be, as they know they've made themselves proud. They've come to Wembley, they've performed on the day, and you know, people will look up. Coventry City is back. It's back on the map, and these players are making it happen.
It certainly is back on the map. Mark, back to you.
Thank you, Laura. They're playing staying alive there. That's what they've had to do as a football club in the last 25 years, Coventry City, from the abyss to so nearly reaching the cup final. Karen, let's have a look at extra time and the chances that Coventry had. It wasn't like they were just trying to hang on for penalties. They had 2 or 3 real opportunities.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I was thinking, you know, when it went to the half-time of extra time, thinking they just got to hold on for penalties. But no, they really went for it. They had the energy, play it into Sims, ball out wide. You're thinking, right, take your chance now. And maybe he's touched, but he had to hit the target. That was a massive opportunity for Wright there. Again, Sims was causing havoc, strength, hits it as hard as he can. And you're thinking, oh, and you're like, how have they not got through? How have they not scored?
Here's the one. This is the moment.
That there.
Is
that
it hard
ball...
to be critical of Haji Wright to look along the line? I mean, it's literally millimetres.
Well, this is offside by. Yeah, but this is what we're dealing with now. The margins. Now that Wan-Bissaka's not finished his second stride. If he finishes that second stride, he might be onside. That's the margins, unfortunately, and you know, it's a sad one for them because it's so tight.
They play with great quality as well. We talk about the spirit and the effort. They were 3-0 down. The fans there, Coventry fans, were outstanding. They stuck with them at the end. Even they showed a lot of class. But the players from Coventry, so great quality, really good quality, and you know, we'll never get that chance again.
And it's just raised the same old questions about Manchester United, hasn't it? That we're going round the hamster wheel asking the same questions and getting the same answers about them.
We're having the same conversation every week. But Man United, you don't know where you're going to get. They're inconsistent. They give you chances. They always play in moments. That's what they tend to do. They give teams chances. We've seen it even throughout the FA Cup this year. Wigan had chances. Newport, Leicester teams. Liverpool probably should have beat them. They should have been beaten today. But they're in the final. We always say you need a bit of luck in football, and United had luck today, absolutely. But they got over the line. Maguire got interviewed towards the end. He said we showed great character. I don't see character in this group of players. I really don't. I'm getting to the stage where I'm always disliking them because I see what qualities they have, but when they have a team and they've got the game won and they're just taking the foot off the gas, and I'm waiting for leadership. I'm seeing people with bad habits. I'm looking at the goalkeeper, wasting time. Your goalkeeper, Man United, playing you're 2 or 3-0 up. And you're wasting time. Just get on with the game. You know, flex your muscles. You've got the game won. And all of a sudden, they take a step back almost. They show some courage. Almost frightened to go and win the game. So, again, huge problems for Man United going forward. But they got the job done. But, you know, the plaudits today have to go to Coventry.
Absolutely.
I said it to you at the start of the show. They don't play like a team. They play just with individuals that can just create something and win your moments, and that's happened over the course of the season. For me, they don't play like a team, they're not coached like a team, and I think Erik ten Hag has got to have a look at that and say, again, like, you're 3-0 up. If you play like a team, they don't ever come back into it. There's only one team.
The pressure will only... Man United should be, you know, going back tonight almost. You celebrate, you got to a cup final. But it just, all it's done is added more pressure to the manager.
I mean, they're almost skulking out a little bit embarrassed by the manner in which they've done it, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the fans were leaving. When the top goal went in, before they realised it was offside, they were out. What can Coventry take from this? It's so heartbreaking. We could go through a list of clubs who played brilliantly in FA Cup semi-finals and lost narrowly, who don't get back to this sort of stage. What can they take out of it?
Well, where they've come from and where they are now, with Mark Robins going back there and now having his promotions, getting them to the semi-finals, the FA Cup. What they've got to do is they've got to take from this the occasion, how they performed on the occasion, especially the first half. Obviously, they'll say now, looking back, maybe they should have had even more of a go against United, but they didn't. But what they'll learn is being in this arena, being at this stage of a competition, being like the main topic of the country again, and then get themselves back in the Premier League. You know what I mean? That's what they should do now. They should try and build something off of that, because the fans are ready for it.
Right, we always say there's ways to lose.
Yes.
The way they've lost to them. Matt Robins should be very proud of the players and the supporters.
Absolutely.
First time since 1885, none of us were around, that we've had repeat cup finals 2 years in a row. Blackburn Rovers and Queen's Park then. They have to play an awful lot better, whatever Manchester City team put out than that, United.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
But it's still set up for a great final.
Yeah.
Even if they are tired.
Well, because they know how to win. And that's almost what Manchester United slightly forgot today, isn't it? The ability to know how to win and get over the line.
Well, they're in the final, and, you know, it's probably the derby final that we probably wanted to see. Sorry for Coventry, but it is that rematch from last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I wanted to see that.
You would cheer for Coventry. I've never seen
I just wanted a good game.
Yeah.
I just wanted a good game. I was trying to wind you up. I was been trying to wind him up so much. It was working. Look at you. I'm so tired now.
Thank you very much, everybody. It was quite an afternoon here. The mood of the whole game, because Manchester United have got such a cushion now. Roy, let's look at the first goal. It's all about timing into the penalty area with the run from McTominay, isn't it?
Yeah, which he's very good at. He's certainly improved this season and getting in there with the timings of his run. Really poor from Coventry. They'll be disappointed, but very simple from United. Effective. Ball into McTominay if you keep an eye on him. You got the overlap with Garnacho. It's about timing, quality, and he just walks in there, guides in there. And he doesn't get in there too early, which is very hard to coach.
Yeah, that's the one where he's had a look around. But now, who's going to pick him up now? Great run from Dalot. Great pass from Garnacho to put it in there, but it's all quality play. It's quality play, quality runs, quality balls in, and a good run to finish.
You can see, Karen, it's like jog, 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 sprint, isn't it? So that nobody can... Well, he should be picked up, but it's harder to pick up because he hasn't got there too early.
Just senses it. I don't think you can coach that. I think it's just innate in him. He just senses it, sees the gap, and then just goes for it. But Dalot's ball was exquisite.
You learned from one of the best who coached you that.
Yeah, do you know what? You get little pointers from obviously great players, and Brian Robson used to like to point to me and some other midfielders. Never get in there too early. It seems a very simple message, but McTominay does that well. And again, I don't know if it can be coached. It's just about reading it time. And if you're in it too early, obviously it can go behind you, you'll be offside. And just to walk in there and literally just walks into it. And Brian Robson, who was pretty good at it, let me tell you. And if you can't learn from these type of players, you'll never learn.
If they'd gone in only one down, Coventry, you might have thought they've got something to hang on to. But the second goal just before half-time, we'll see the Rashford chance just before it, which is actually a very good save, isn't it?
Well, again, Dalot getting down this right-hand side and causing problems here, but it pulls it back and you're running onto it. He's absolutely got so much pace on it, Rashford. To be fair, the keeper's got a good hand. And then you're thinking, right, you said 45th minute, you stay in the game and you're thinking, why are you leaving Maguire? You know, the key player early, Sims loses him, he's got a free header and he's not going to miss from there. And then you're thinking, your head is in your hands thinking, how have you conceded? You're going 2-0 and it's a really difficult half-time conversation now for the manager.
Sims seems to get himself blocked off by I don't think Højlund's trying to block him, but he seems to get himself the wrong side of Højlund so he can't get back to the bar.
He's obviously very wary of Harry Maguire. Whether he's close enough to him or not, he's so powerful. If the ball's good and he's not marked tight enough, he's probably going to get ahead on it. But, like, you look at the game and you're thinking Coventry have got to come and with something because United are very much in professional mode. They look very sharp. They look very good about what they're doing. And Coventry are a bit deep for me. It feels like it's very tough for them to get out, but they've got to do something to to stop this Man United type of trampling.
They can't go silly either. They've still got to stick to their game plan. Obviously, they've had their few moments themselves.
It's slim pickings, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but that's how I thought it would pan out. And these are moments here where you're going, listen, you've got a striker, we were talking about the lack of pace from the 2 centre-half. Put him in. Yeah. Put him in. And if you do go wide, give him a better ball. But they have to remember, earlier in the FA Cup, Man United were tuning up at Newport. Yeah. And they took their foot off the gas. So you stay encouraged, but don't go too silly and open up because United will rip you apart. And just hope you get 1 or 2 of these moments and just have a little bit more better quality.
The decision-making needs to be so good, doesn't it, Karen, because you have so few of them. This, to be fair, from Eccles is great.
Yeah, but this is where you go on Ellis Sims. You know, that ball is no different to Dallow's ball for Manchester United where McTominay got on the end of it. You've got to get across there. That's your moment. That's his Wembley semi-final. Get in there. That's 2-1. You're going in, that was 1-1 at the time.
But your decision-making is all part about being a top footballer, and that will be the difference. We're watching it here, we're seeing players' decision-making. Yeah. That's why you have to show why you're at a top team, and these are championship players, and United are showing that at the moment.
Punishing them. And what will happen is that Coventry, they've either got to get themselves going and start passing about, get some confidence, or they'll go even more in this show because they start to get afraid. Because you look at United now, the confidence is flowing. People want goals.
Sum it up, isn't it? Really haven't come out and gone toe-to-toe with this Manchester United side, playing very much in their shell, Coventry, but fair play to United.
Yeah, we talked about Coventry before the game, about just a huge day for this football club, for these championship players. Don't leave anything on the table, and I think that's what Matt Robbins will be saying at half-time. Deal with that overlap better. But it's really comfortable thus far for Manchester United. They have to be saying at half-time, Ten Hag, look, we know it's a championship side, but there might be a response from them. There has to be something. So we just have to guard against that. Be patient if you're in that United camp. Look for the third, but don't leave yourself open to Coventry getting back in the game. And they're going to have to do something brilliant if that's the case. And thus far, they've not shown that they're capable of doing that.
Let's get some reaction pitchside, shall we? Nadia Manua is alongside Alexis. Guys, your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, Dan, well, it pretty much has been the Manchester United show, at least. You think that if United probably were in their better days, they would be punishing Coventry a lot more in this one. For Coventry now, any way back for this?
I think it's going to be a tough role, but for me, more importantly, I think they need to go and play better in the second half. I think for the side that they are and the way they represent themselves this season, they're not showing it on the field here today. I think realistically, they need to be more aggressive. I think they need to be cleaner up top. I think you've seen in Wright and Sims at times, they've tried to sort of take the ball up the field, but they've had a few costly turnovers. I think that United side looked very comfortable, and it's only going to continue to be that way, unfortunately, in the second half, unless Coventry step up a little bit.
And how much do you agree with me that Scott McTominay should have the number 9 shirt?
Let's not do that, Alexis. We've not got time.
Let's not do that?
Let's not do that.
The man knows how to score a clutch goal, right?
Yeah, listen, it's a great run into the box. It's perfect timing, but I think the Coventry goalkeeper will be disappointed because it's gone under his hand. And just as soon as that happens, the game takes on a whole new meaning. And then with a goal as well in added time at the end of the second half from a set piece, these are little mistakes that kind of unfortunately say why some of these players are in the position that they're in.
Well, Scott McTominay definitely knows exactly when to score a clutch goal, and so does Harry Maguire. But so far, it's one-way traffic for the Red Devils, Dan.
Thank you very much, guys. How would you explain Coventry's first half performance, Kieran? Like we were talking about, don't leave anything on the table. This is your final. This is your big chance in front of your fans. Is it nerves? Is it pressure? Or is it just the quality of the opposition?
It might be nerves. It might be the occasion. But I think they've made Manchester United look a lot better than they've been this season. It's a shame that they conceded right before half-time, actually, because whenever Coventry did come up the pitch, it was so easy for them to get into the few occasions that they did. It was so easy for them to get into Manchester United's final third. So it is a shame because you never know what can happen at 1-0. And if they would have just stayed in the game, things might have been different. But I think it's going to be a struggle for Coventry to get back into this game.
Làm cao lên cùng về. Làm chạy cao. Vào thì không mấy. Nó cho nó bị vào đi qua. Lộn đi anh. Vừa chuẩn bị quả chuyền dài lên đâu cho hả? Đâu thằng gần hàng đúng không? Ừ. Có khả năng phải nghỉ tháng mất. Và đấy là bộ. Và lần trước anh bị lâu mới khỏi đấy. Thế rồi. Mẹ thay thằng kia vào biết ngay kìa. Đang 5-1 chứ. 5-2 rồi. 5-2 rồi. Hả? Anh nghĩ là phải hơn. Không, hai bạn rồi. Chủ động mít một quả, giờ quả nước rồi. Mít một quả à? Rồi với anh làm chạy sâu, anh làm đừng về, anh làm đừng về. Sợ đấy. Úi giời. Một chạm cơ à?